Hi, this is Trevor Conquergood from Sunset Stitches, and I'm making this video for all of the people that are using their brother's Scan and Cut, plus their Floriani software to create applique designs. And so for all you people that are doing Becky Thompson's Snapplique method, these are some tips and tricks for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my computer screen larger. And this is a design that was sent to me by one of our customers that has the Floriani software and has taken their image, like an instruction page, and used their brother's Scan and Cut to create the artwork shapes. And it works really well. They clean them up in the brother canvas, and then they bring that into Floriani as like an SVG file. And so there's a couple of tips that I can give you guys to make this process easier if you haven't already learned about Floriani and Applique. The first thing I want to say is something that I noticed recently, and that is if you need to convert all your colors into Floriani or whatever thread brand you want. But notice in this design here that I have a color that says custom. And if you have any colors that say custom, that's going to create a problem when you try and save, the design to like a PES format. In this case, it'll literally crash the program, and you'll have to kind of like reopen it again. There's a really easy fix though. You need to not have any colors that say custom. They need to be, like I said, Floriani or any other brand. And the fastest and easiest way to do that is with this button right here. It's called the Match to Palette button. And when I click on Match to Palette, notice that I can choose any thread brand you want. So if I choose the Floriani Poly, then notice that all of the colors get converted into Floriani polyester colors. And so they didn't change the colors. My applique still shows black, and then another color and then black again. They're all listed as Floriani. And so that was one that might be helpful if you've run into that issue before. And then perhaps a little bit about the process. So if you don't know, with Floriani, it's artwork-based embroidery. And so, for example, I'm just going to open up an artwork shape of an apple. And this is very much similar to what you get when you first open up your design from your Scan and Cut. All of the shapes that you have are simply artwork shapes, and you simply click on them to select them, and then you can click on Applique to convert that into an applique shape. Now, once you've created an applique, there are a lot of different settings that you can choose. And I know a popular thing to do is to change the satin cover to be a blanket edge. And so notice now that I have that blanket edge. And so that's very easy to do. Of course, the software has created all the color stops. So notice that my apple has color 1, and then stop with instructions, before proceeding, place your applique fabric down. And then, of course, color 2, and then another instruction, before proceeding, trim. Of course, this could be a pre-cut applique, in which case this says, before proceeding, stick down your fabric. And then this says, before proceeding, make sure that you sew your cover stitch, So the idea here is, the program has with one shape, you click on it and it creates all 3 color stops that are needed to do an applique. So if you watch the design stitch out, it actually has color 1 as a run stitch, color 2 is another run stitch, and color 3 is that blanket edge. So that's how it works. And notice I've moved this one out of the design. But another one of the questions that we get oftentimes is, could you do this as a layered applique? In other words, how do you remove the parts that are, underneath, right? And so can you get rid of the stitches where the hat sews under the star? And the answer is yes. You just have to know a little bit more. I'll just demonstrate with my apple first of all. If I had 2 apples, so why don't I copy it? And so there's an area where these 2 apples overlap. And there is an automated fix, but it's not always the one that everybody wants. And just to demonstrate, if I select both apples, I can right-click over top and ask for remove overlaps. And what happens is the apple that's on top basically takes a bite out of the apple that's underneath. And so now, it would sew the first applique apple, just quickly get there, incomplete. And then the second apple, incomplete. But notice that the first apple was trimmed and the artwork shapes have been removed underneath, and now it matches. The only thing that I don't think people like is that the applique, the blanket edge, goes both directions here. And I think a lot of times what we really want is for the this one here to not have the blanket edge stitches along that edge at all. And so how do you, remove those, Trevor? And so to do that, essentially what I need to do is select this shape. And there's really two things that you could learn here. The first one would be you can use the shape tool to interact with your shape. And I can simply right click and ask it to split the line, and then come to this point and also right click and ask it to split the line. And that would actually remove. So literally I made this into two pieces, and I can get rid of the part that you don't want, and I'm just left with the part that you do. The only thing with that is I removed all three colors. I removed those stitching in all three colors. And I think a lot of times what people really want is to just remove the stitching on the third color. So how do you do that, Trevor? And the answer is, okay, let me hit undo and undo and undo, and maybe even undo. So now we're back to like a full piece here and a full piece here. And what I'm going to do with this piece that I need to edit is actually right click. And this time we're going to choose to break up the applique. So notice over here on the right that it's all one shape. There's one segment of an applique which has three color stops. Well, if you select that and you right click and break up the applique, you end up with three shapes. One shape for the first run stitch, one shape for the second run stitch, and then one shape for the blanket edge. And this way you can choose your shape tool and right click over this point and ask it to split the line, and then right click over that point and ask it to split the line. And now I have a piece that's remaining that I can delete. And so in this case, we still have the applique stitches for color number 1 and color number 2, and it's only color number 3 that was removed. So I hope that made sense. What I'll do, just to kind of reiterate, is I'll get rid of the apples and we'll do it on the design that was sent in. So for example, this shape right here is sewing underneath a star that sews later. And if you don't want to remove all three colors in your hat and you just want to edit the third color, then you would select it, right click, and break up the applique. Now you're going to select that third color, which is the one that has all the blanket edges. You can look in your sequence view to make sure that you have the third one in the row, and then you use your shape tool to come in, and I'm just going to right click on one edge and say split the line. And you don't even have to be on a point, just anywhere along the purple line you can right click and say split the line, and that will take the piece out. And then you can select the piece that you don't want, which is, maybe it's easier in the sequence view, it'll be right after the piece that you cut it from, and delete it. So there you have it. That's how you can remove the stitches for a layered applique. And so certainly I hope that this video was helpful. Remember, don't try and save them with any custom colors. Use your match to palette tool to make everything be in your favorite color palette. And if you have any questions, as always, send an email to trevor@sunsetstitches.com. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.